Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Disney Empowerment. I'm your host, Randy Havison. My hope is that you are already a part of our Disney Empowerment Facebook page where you can post and leave comments, and if you have any questions, where we share what is it about Disney that we feel empowered by. And I thought for my first talking about a character, I'm going to talk about my favorite guy, and that is Peter Pan. He inspires me. I just love this character and all the incarnations that we see in all the books and the movies. There are so many different ways that he's portrayed. But what I love about Peter is he has amazing courage. I mean, here's this kid who stands up to Captain Hook and says, "No, you are not going to keep tormenting us." And he stands up to the bully. And he can fly, with the help of his friend Tinkerbell. Oh, I'll be talking about her later. She's one of my favorites too. But for Peter, he has learned that when he thinks his happy thoughts, anything is possible. He can even fly. So I love all those parts about him. Now, like a lot of characters and a lot of people, it's like a double-edged sword. There's the good side, and then there's kind of the side that isn't really the best. Such as Peter can be seen he can be either childlike or childish. And there's a huge difference between those two. I learned this years ago, early in my recovery and early as I was starting to find out who I was and where I was. I realized that there was a difference between those two. That being childish has no positive effect to it. I usually ended up whining and complaining, and why aren't things going my way? Or I do something just to instigate trouble with somebody else. But to be childlike, like when I go to the Disney parks, I'm that 7-year-old kid again. I don't even need to go on a ride when I go to the parks. I just love the energy and the sounds and the smells and everything that's around there. That little boy in me, that 7-year-old boy, is like, "Can we go get a churro now?" And sometimes it's, "Yeah, let's go get one." And sometimes, "Let's just wait till after lunch." So I love being childlike. And I've watched so many adults that once they grow into their adulthood, they lose that ability to play. They lose that childlike nature. I remember a long time ago, I was working as a counselor in a substance abuse treatment center, working with adolescents. And I remember there was this one kid, and he was such a great kid. And the father would come in for family stuff, and he'd also always be in a suit and tie. And I remember he sat in group, and he's sitting up straight, and I said, "So how are you feeling about everything going?" "Well, this is a little disappointing." And it was very, what you would expect of someone who is very locked within themselves and very responsible and very successful. And one of the things I said to him was, "Could you do me a favor? Could you loosen your tie?" What I wanted to say was, "Take off the jacket, take off the tie, unbutton a couple buttons, come on, relax." But I knew that was going to be too much for him. So I said, "Just loosen your tie and maybe unbutton the first button." And he did. And he breathed. And I said, "How are you doing?" "Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I mean, my son is in a treatment center. How did this happen?" And it was a complete shift in him. And it was funny, the next time he came in, he wasn't wearing a tie. It was awesome. Oh my God, the progress. I love that. But I wanted to help him to kind of loosen up a little bit. And my example, going back to Peter Pan, is for anyone who's seen the movie Hook, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that, because here's Peter, who grew up, and he forgot who he was. Oh, the beauty of that movie. I mean, there's so many. I cry every time I watch that movie, especially on that one point where the boy walks up to him when he's finally remembering who he is, and he touches me and said, "There you are, Peter." Oh my God, I lose it. Every time I lose it. All 57 times that I've seen that movie, I lose it. But that's okay, because when I get in touch with that child again, I can cry. I can get in touch with my joy, my sadness, my fear, my hurt, my anger, all of those, and they don't have to overwhelm me anymore because I know them. They're friends of mine, and I know the value of sadness just like I know the value of joy. And as I get in touch with that Peter inside of me, of being able to feel whatever's going on and be that boy who can fly, and there's a part of me that will never grow up. And I'm very proud of that, actually, because I never want that little boy inside of me to go away. I never want the responsibilities of the world in order to overshadow that it's important to play. And one of my favorite sayings is work hard, but play harder. You know, no one ever sat on their deathbed saying, God, I wish I would have spent more time in the office. So let's take some notes from Peter Pan, and let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's build our self-esteem. Let's get in touch with that childlike part of ourselves so that we can truly be in sync. I mean, one of the things I tell people sometimes, and you might be surprised by this, you might not, but in March, this past March, I turned 60. I am 60 years old. And I don't feel like I look it. I definitely don't act it. I used to think 60 was old. I've come to learn that it's just a number. I mean, there are things that are definitely slowing down. My memory is definitely kind of sliding a little bit. But I'm good with that because for the most part, I'm still having fun and enjoying my life. And that's what I want for you. And that's why I created that. That's why I did my online workshop. That's why I did the Disney Empowerment page. That's why I do the Randy Speaks page, to help people get in touch with their self-esteem and build self-esteem, because that's the number one thing that I talk about in my work, is helping people build their self-esteem. So that's what I want to do. And it's so cool to be able to do things like this, because even if I inspire one person, then it's worth it. So I'm happy to make this time in order to do that. And my hope is that you find your happiness, your happy place, your happy thoughts, that you learn how to play again. And if you have that Disney part, if you're part of Disney Empowerment, you know what that Disney part is. And today I'm saying, find that and just let it grow, let it glow, and just be a part of the magic. Ooh, that was good. I think that's a good place to end. So Peter Pan is my guy. Love this guy. And the movie Hook, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it this weekend. It's worth it. And just to watch that transformation, don't forget who you are. You know, I am many things to many different people. But one thing that people tell me all the time is that no matter which situation I'm in, I'm always me. And it's about being genuine and being authentic. And that's one of the things, or two of the things, that are most important to me. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, comments, feel free to make them in the comment section here. I'll answer all questions. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't. Tell me if it's too long, too short, you want more, you want less. If there's a character you want me to talk about, absolutely, I would love to do that. I have a whole list that I'm going to talk about, but if there's someone out there that wants me to talk about someone specific, I'm happy to bring them up farther on my list or talk about them if I haven't thought about it already. So, yeah, you guys, all the best to you. You know, the glass is either half full or half empty. And for a lot of people who are into Disney, we see it as half full. So let's be that way. Especially, you know, for cast members who were laid off and furloughed. I'm one of them. I was laid off. And it was sad. And I'm going to miss my job. I'm really going to miss my job. But you know what? If it's meant to be in the future, I'll have another. And maybe I'll enjoy it more. You never know. You know, every time a door closes, another one opens. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be doing the Disney Empowerment Channel. I have no idea what would have happened if I was still going in and doing my job. No idea. But today, I get to be here. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening and watching. And hopefully I will hear from you soon, because I really do want this to be interactive. So have a good one. Take care. See you next time. Have a magical day.